Once upon a time, this was the Oriental Paris, the most alluring destination in the Far East. Today, for a foreigner, it's still the perfect soft landing spot to China. Worldly civilized, lavish and vibrant, this city promises visitors a true metropolis experience. Showcasing the country's most glittering and polished look, many find it a haven of refinement and elegance. Others see the ever-glowing glamour nothing more than a facade, a frenzy madhouse for posers and wannabes. We found it, frankly, a bit of a both. Isn't always a complexity and contrast that make it even more intriguing. No matter how strictly you usually stick to your budget, you will find yourself making serious damage to your bank account in Shanghai. Hurry up! Hard to make consistency between given time and wishful shopping list? Try harder, or simply run faster. Wow. Hi, welcome to Travelogue. I'm Yangzi. You can't mistake this place as anywhere else in China. You know, nostalgic Pudong, futuristic Puxi, one of the most glamorous cities in China, Shanghai. I'm rather taking quite a glamorous trip, starting from this place along Yangzi River. It's gonna be quite a trip. It's never easy to say goodbye to such a seasoned place promising endless adventure. But it felt a lot easier when we knew the city of Shanghai was only the starting point of our 3,000-kilometer-long cruising trip, and a long list of exciting destinations awaited ahead. As a veteran traveler, we found ourselves turning to those classic traveling bores who had done diving, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, but often forgot to take a trip as what it was, a journey from one place to the next, the process as a part of the pleasure. Cruising trip serves as a friendly reminder of how human travel originally started, just in much better style. Checking into a cruise trip is like knotting into a marriage with a deadline. It requires all upfront commitment and promises a worry-free and hassle-free euphoria on board. All expenses paid, all itineraries accepted, no alarm clock, no guidebook, no map needed anymore. All you need to worry about is how to sustain sobriety and restraint after rounds of champagne and manage to carry on good conversation among the patrician-looking guests. Yangzi River, China's longest and world's third longest river, is originated from Qinghai Tibetan Plateau, winding through 6,300 kilometers and creating a drainage area of total 180,000 square kilometers. Today, this artery is still one of the world's busiest inland waterway, connecting China's most economically developed regions in the middle and lower courses. Known as Jiangnan, the word Jiangnan in Chinese is not only a general indication of the area or southern part of the lowest regions of Yangzi River, it has become a picturesque description suggesting fertile land, spring drizzles, poetic melancholy that seems to be the eternal theme of Chinese poetry. Famous Jiangnan cities include Shanghai, Hangzhou, Suzhou, and Nanjing. Facing Yangzi River and surrounded by hills from three sides, Nanjing was considered to be auspiciously as well as strategically important. Meaning the South capital, It was indeed one of the 4 historic capital cities in China, as others being Beijing, Xi'an, and Luoyang. We were scheduled to disembark here and to marvel the ancient capital's grandiose past. That's to say, after passing through this symbol of modern Nanjing. Nanjing Yangzi River Bridge, spanning China's greatest east-west natural barrier, was started in 1960 and completed in 1968. Before the connection, it took a train over an hour and a half to cross the river by ferry. The bridge was a source of great pride for many Chinese during the 60s and 70s, since it was the first project in this scale designed and constructed by Chinese alone, without the help of overseas expertise. Just enough time to get slightly restless on board, we were told it was time to disembark and go exploring Nanjing City for only a half day.
It's late.
What do you do when you know you don't have enough time to see it all, which is always the case for travelers?
Okay.
You ask tips from a local. The first answer coming on top of his head is the place. In Nanjing, it's Fuzimiao, Confucius Temple. In Nanjing, Fuzimiao doesn't only refer to a temple for people paying worship to Confucius, but an area with a group of Ming and Qing-style buildings centered around the temple on the south of Nanjing. Today's Fuzimiao promises to showcase Nanjing's most indigenous specialty. The bazaar-like atmosphere also urges tourists to spend in speed.
Wow. 哎，很漂亮吧？啊，很吓人。这么金黄，这是什么东西啊？风蛾哎，是南京的特产吗？对对对，特色之特。一般人家以前都是自己做，现在就我们自己搞，让他们自己来买现成的，因为多好。我是素食的 ，I like vegetarian food much better.
No surprise, the Antique Street is the quietest street in entire Fuzimiao area. Understandably, the cultural stuff, who has the time to indulge that? Well, I know someone would. Dacheng Hall, the hall of agglomeration of Confucius' merits and virtues, was built in Song Dynasty to enshrine and worship Confucius. The temple includes 3 great building complexes: the temple, Palace of Learning, and Imperial Examination Yard. Chinese emperors began to select officials through imperial exam regardless background since the Sui Dynasty in the 7th century. Studying started to be seen as a golden key to the door to power and fame ever since. Years of relentless studying was tested here in a 3-day exam, the exam that would change their life forever. A fair number of able candidates were given chance to take office after the exam, and many talented intellectuals also failed. Even though the exam only tested literal fluency and left science topics out, among China's famous novelists, many tried and few succeeded.
漂不漂亮？漂亮。啊？
Nanjing's economic boom had a lot to thank for the imperial exam. Before and during the exam season, candidates from all over China gathered here preparing. Many, of course, even stayed afterwards, preparing for the coming year and years.
Thanks to many famous poets who wrote about this river became nationally renowned and made Nanjing even more famous. I wish I can recite a few famous poets right now, right here.
And Qinghai River is, of course, the perfect backdrop for that. For many men of literacy, beautiful courtesans and delicious wine were considered to be elegant company for time of innocent pleasure. For the most part of last millennium in ancient China, only courtesans were encouraged to study poetry and play musical instruments. Decent lady in lotus feet will only expect to stay in, meeting no man before marriage and only spend days learning domestic skills. No surprise, many men of literacy fell for courtesans here and went home marrying a decent lady later. The story of Li Xiangjun was a slightly different one. Courtesan Li Xiangjun was gifted at music, calligraphy, and painting. Scholar Hu Chaozong and she fell in love at the turbulent days of the end of Ming Dynasty. When circumstances forced them to part, home gave Miss Li Xiangjun a fan decorated with peach blossom and poems as the symbol of their love. Peach blossom thereafter became the symbol of romance.
Come in. Are you still here? We're all going to the Yellow Mountain. Are you coming or not? What's the point of staying here all day? But I am sailing. So you go your way. Okay, as you wish. Bye.
Huangshan, the Yellow Mountain, was not the easiest place to get to before this was built in the 90s. But it has long been a popular travel destination. China's most famous travel journal writer Xu Xiake gave Huangshan his top rating as the #1 mountain under the sky.
More than 3,000 meters in 8 minutes. What adventure! About time!
In Tang Dynasty, Emperor Tang Minghuang gave the name of Huangshan, the Yellow Mountain, in memory of Huangdi,